Hey, hello my friend, welcome to the channel. Today I want to talk about why some art sells and why others stay in your studio for weeks, months, and years. So let's have that conversation today. And more importantly, let me give you 3 ways that you can do to improve on that. My name is Sergio Gomez. I'm an artist, curator, gallery owner, author, and co-founder of the Art NXT Level program. And my goal with this channel is to make marketing and art business easy so that you can grow your art career, find new opportunities, sell more art, and spend more time creating in the studio. So if you like that, make sure you click on the subscribe button and click on the little bell so that you receive notifications of our future videos. Well, my friend, welcome back. Super excited today. I want to talk to you about why sometimes, there's art that sells quickly and there's art that takes forever, right? It just seems to be in the studio and, it's just sitting there while other works, seem to go quite fast. And that's something that a lot of artists struggle with. And I think it's something that all of us who have been making art for a long time have seen, right? There are works that, they come out of the studio and there's a buyer already lined up for it. And there are others who, may have the same quality, may even look alike, like the one that sold really well, but it's just still sitting in your studio. That's something that to me is always fascinating to see and to think about and to explore, both as an artist and also as a gallery owner. And today, let's go into that a little bit. I believe, my friend, that the most important part of an art sale is not just the transaction of money, but it's the connection. Yes, I believe that sales of your art are the result of connections, of meaningful connections that people will have with your art. Sometimes these are relationships that are built with you as the artist, and that's the connection that happens. Sometimes it's a connection because it's emotional. Sometimes it's intellectual. There are many reasons why somebody may connect with you as the artist or with a particular work of art enough that they want to have it, that they want to spend their money to bring that work to their home or to their office so they can see it every day. And that to me is fascinating. I love that. This idea of the connection that has to happen with the right person, kind of like the right artwork waiting for the right person, to create that connection that will make them both, live with each other, from that point forward. And as artists, sometimes that is difficult to understand. Sometimes that is kind of difficult to accept even that, perhaps you may have a painting or drawing or a sculpture that you spend hours and hours working on, and it's perhaps like your best piece, only to sit in your studio seems like forever. Has that happened to you? It has happened to me, as well, where, some of my best pieces have taken time to find the right person who connects with them and now wants them, right? And I have also had cases where somebody looks at a work of art, on my website or on social media or in another collector's home, looks at one of my pieces and says, I really connected that one, but now it's not available, right? So even though I may have other pieces that are similar in nature, they don't have the same connection to them, at least at the start. Then of course, as they get to know more about my work and who I am and so on, they then will start connecting with other works. But it's just that initial connection that is really interesting. And every collector is different. There are people who connect with a piece immediate. There's like an immediate connection. They see a work of art and they know they want to have it and they gotta have it. That's kind of how it works. I can tell you, for example, a story about this one. Last year we were in Art Basel with our gallery, 33 Contemporary, and in one of the evenings during the fair, there's a guy who walks into our booth, takes a turn, walks in, stands in front of this beautiful painting by one of our artists who we were representing at the fair, Florencia, and he looks at this painting and he says, I gotta have it. The connection was immediate. He didn't flinch, he didn't think about it, he didn't say, well, let me go talk about it with my wife, or let me walk around a little longer, I'll come back, none of that. He saw it in seconds. He says, I want it, put his wallet, pulled the credit card, and right there the transaction was made. Then it was shipped to to the framer and then sent his assistant to get it, and now it's beautifully hanging in his home in Miami. So, that was an example of somebody who knew exactly what he wanted, and when he saw it, he had to have it, right? He had to have it. The connection was instant, and it was strong because he really had to have that piece. And you can tell, usually on somebody's face when that connection is strong, because they stay, they look at the artwork, and they won't move. You can talk to them, and they're still looking at the artwork. They're still looking at it, making sure that that is the one, that is the piece that they want. And while for us as artists, we wish that every collector was the same, it's not, right? There are a variety of ways in which people connect with art. There are also other collectors that come to for example, to an art fair. They look at a work of art, say, I like it, I'm connected, I feel connected to that. They make a note or they take a picture of it, and they have to walk around the entire fair to see if kind of trying to convince themselves that that is the piece that they want, right? Or others, who may have to go and talk to their spouse or measure the wall, or these other things that takes much longer. I have had collectors of my own work that see the piece, then they have to think about it, and then later they come back and they say, okay, I'm gonna get that work of art. Same with the gallery. We have collectors who sometimes they want it right away, they buy it, and others who ask questions, inquire, they take their sweet time, and then eventually, they get the piece. Every collector is different. But it is fascinating that it doesn't matter if it's really quickly or it takes forever, it's always about that connection. There's always something about connection. And what's beautiful about the art world today is that there's more transparency. I remember back in the day when I started my own art career, 20 years ago or so, before social media, when the internet was just email, if a collector looked at a work of art and loved it in a gallery, well, he didn't have the opportunity to go and speak to the artist, usually unless it was the opening. Why? Because there was no social media, right? There was no way to find or access the artist right away. If the artist wasn't there, well, all you have is just your conversation with the gallery and the art in front of you. Well, now the world is so different. Right now, collectors have access. Somebody can look at the work of art in a show or in a gallery or in your studio, and if you're not there, they can just open Instagram and look you up and find you and then send you a message, or they can go to Google and probably find your website and connect with you, right? I have, wonderful, amazing stories of people that have found me that way. So I want to share with you, 3 things that you can do to make better connections with your art, with the audience. So the first thing that I want to encourage you, if you want to make more meaningful connections, is to engage actively in social media. And by engaging, I don't mean just post more and make, social media kind of like a billboard where all you do is just post your art, 3 sentences, and there you go, right? And you do that every day, and yeah, it's good to share your art, but also in order to make connections, you gotta have conversations. It's almost very difficult to, if not impossible, to make connections with people without talking, without having a conversation. How do you make conversations on social media? Well, by discussing, your ideas with your posts, by discussing, what's happening in your studio, by talking to your audience, just like the way I'm talking to you right now through this video, and you're watching this on the other side, somewhere in the world. Now it's the same case, with your art. You want to create connections by talking to your audience. You do that to talking to, perhaps you make a video just like this one. Maybe you make a reel. Maybe you make a post, a carousel picture, and then you write in the caption, a story or some idea of what you were thinking about as you were building or creating that work of art. That's how you do it. Giving your audience ways of engaging with you so that they feel they're more connected with you. I'm going to tell you another quick story about the importance of telling your stories and your connections. In my website, I have a link that's called My Story, and in My Story, you can actually go check it out. It's at sergiogomezonline.com, and if you click on About, you'll see My Story. And it's just a story. It's not just my bio, but it's my story as if I'm telling you my artist story sitting in a coffee shop, right? It's written in the first person, and it's an honest letter from me to you, about my journey as an artist. And then I finish it inviting you to, if these words resonate with you, I think you will love my art, kind of thing. So I had a big exhibition in Michigan some years back, and after the exhibit, it was a solo show, beautiful exhibition, beautiful gallery. I asked the curator, so how did you find about me, and what makes you decide to give me an exhibition? And he said, well, I saw your work on social media. I've been following you for a while, but when I went to your website and I read your story, I felt connected to your work, and I said, we gotta have Sergio come and do a show for us. That's the power of connections. He had seen my art, he already liked it, but when he connected with my story, that's when the opportunity grow bigger, right? And that's why you as an artist find every opportunity that you have, to build connection, to tell your story, to tell stories, to share a little bit more than just the art, the title, and the medium in a couple sentences, right? Right? Always think when you are creating a caption for social media, think about one person, not many, one. Think about, if I were to send this message to one person, what would I say? And I think that will help you to more naturally speak about your art, your ideas, your stories that you can share with others. So that's number one, right? Engage actively on social media and make more meaningful connections with people. All right, the second one that I want to give you, the second tip to create more meaningful connections between your art and your audience, is also to next time that you have an exhibition or that you have a public event or even a virtual event, to also have an artist talk. Yes, have an artist talk. The dreadful artist talk that I know many artists are afraid of, but artist talks are really, really great opportunities to engage with people, to talk, to share your art, your ideas. And it is, in my experience, both as an artist and as a curator, I see how the audience, when they hear the artist speaking, they connect and they can ask questions. And when they ask questions and the artist answers, they have a much meaningful and stronger connection, not only with you, but also with the art that's hanging on the wall or is standing on the pedestal, right? There's so much power when the artist speaks up about his or her work. So you can do this, next time that you have an event. Let's say you have an opening or so, or even if you're part of a group show, you can encourage the curator or the gallery, hey, can we do maybe a quick artist talk, and maybe 4 or 5 of us can just say a few words about our work, whoever wants to, for example. And hey, if they say yes, why not? Then there could be a great opportunity for you to share a little bit more about your art. And when you do so, it's a wonderful thing, because people who come, they will feel more connected. And then what you do is you record that talk so that then you can share it in social media, so that others who were not there, they can also benefit, from that conversation. And if you're afraid of talking about your art, they have other great videos. I'm going to put some here in the comments, in the description of this video, so that you can check out later, that can help you talk about your art, to a public. But I always say, for speaking about your art, it doesn't have to be long. It could be very short and relax. And all you gotta do is point people towards your art. If you're bothered by people looking at you, if you don't like the eyes of people all locked on you, then point them towards your art. You can say, well, in this painting right here, I was thinking, or I was exploring, or I had the idea, or whatever. So now people are looking at the art versus looking at you. That's a great tip that I can give you really quickly. All right. So this is the second thing that you can do to increase the connection between you and your art to your audience. The third thing that you can do is develop an effective email marketing strategy. And maybe you have been doing that, maybe you haven't, but having an email marketing strategy can help you. Why? Because you can use your email that you send to your followers, to your collectors, people who subscribe to your email list, stories, ideas, things that you're working on that people can open up in their inbox and read and click reply if they want. A lot of times when I send an email to my list, I get a couple replies from people who take the time to read and respond, and say thank you, or oh, that's a great idea, or I was thinking about that, things of that nature. People do engage when we invite engagement, right? And I suggest, if you have an email newsletter as an artist, don't make it look like a newsletter, just news, but rather make it more conversational. Again, think about the one person. When you're writing that email, think about who's the one person that I have in mind as I'm writing this email, and talk to that person. And that will make it sound better, more relaxed. You don't have to overthink it. And if you have a problem with the grammar and things like that, type it the best you can. Go to ChatGPT, for example, and ask it to proofread it and make sure that it reads well. And it will fix it for you. It will do that for you. So there's no excuse today for anyone not to be able to write a good, quick story, or send a good email to the people who want to hear from you. And that, my friend, is another way in which you can do that. And actually, email lists is one way in which I have used over the years to continue selling my own art through the emails that I send out, because do people read them? So these are 3 things, my friend, that you can definitely do to increase the connections that you can create with people. But I have a bonus for you. This is a really cool bonus for you, another one. And I just opened the doors to a brand new, amazing, really, really cool program. I think it's the best program that we have put together, that I think you will love it. It's called Build Your Collector Circle. It's an artist masterclass. So what is that? The Build Your Collector Circle is this idea of having a system for you as an artist, to have a system to visually understand where your collectors are and who your collectors are, how to find them, how to nurture them, and how to help them to continue collecting from you over time. It's a great system. It's a way to finally visualize this abstract thing that we call art collectors, understand who they are, how they buy, how do we find them, how do we make ourselves visible to them, and then not only that, but what happens when they purchase, how do we help them to stay connected and build that relationship. So this is a course that is a masterclass, as I said, for 10 weeks. It begins August 12 inside of our programs, August 12. And for 10 weeks, every Monday during 10 weeks, you get a new video that is released. So you can watch it anytime. You don't have to watch it live. It gets released, and you can go through the video and then look for all the resources that the sessions have. We have a booklet that comes with it. We have email scripts that you can use, when you are messaging collectors who inquire, when you're doing follow-ups, etc. Really, really cool stuff that you can just pretty much take and use as you wish. You have opportunities to ask me anything for 10 weeks, live Q&A, related to that. We have also other coaches, Dr. Ana Gomez, Drew Harris, and plus we have guest invited coaches as well, and artists, and we have also art consultants and art experts, who will be joining us. I will be doing interviews with them, on art, building collectors relationships that will help you out as well. So altogether, these 10 weeks will be amazing, and I want to invite you to be part of it, because the things that you will learn there will save you really, really years of hard work, real years of frustrations, because you are doing things right. Not only you'll hear my perspective, but the perspective of many others too, who will be sharing with you during those 10 weeks. And you have access to our community. We have a platform where you can connect with artists from around the world and also learn what they're doing, because everybody is so awesome and loves to share also the strategies that are working for them. So I want to invite you to be part of this Build Your Collector Circle Artist Masterclass that begins on August 12th. All you gotta do, my friend, is go to our website, theartistnextlevel.com, and in the homepage you will see a banner there. Now, if you go and there's no banner, that means that course has already closed. So what you do is just sign up for our mailing list so that you get notified the next time the course opens. So it depends when you're watching this video, depends when you're listening to this podcast. If it's too late, sorry, but make sure that you get in our list so that you get notified next time it opens. Because like I said, I think it's the best thing we have ever done. It's an incredible system that I'm 100% sure is going to help so many artists finally make sense, of how the art collectors work and start building an art collector circle around their art. So if that's you, my friend, make sure to sign up. Go to theartistnextlevel.com to find more information. Hope to see you there. Thank you for watching, and remember, it's all about connections. But wait, before you leave this video, if you are an artist who wants to grow your art career and wants to achieve greater success, make sure you check out the Art Next Level program. You will find a link under this video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the next video that we have recommended just for you.